Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And it feels bizarre to be filming. Again, I took the last week off from filming, except for over on my vlog channel. I'm sure most of you that watch this, because I think most of you that watch this channel also watch my vlog channel, so most of you probably know that our little dog, Boo Radley, passed away late last Monday night, going into Tuesday, early Tuesday morning. And so I've taken some time off from filming on all of my channels, except for my vlog channel. And today I'm just trying to get back into the routine of filming again, and it's been helpful. It was really hard at first to get started today filming. I woke up and I was like, I think I need another day, and then I was like, no, just push through it. And it's ended up being really, really helpful. I kind of went back and forth. Like, I was going to do a video over here today talking about grief, and then I thought, no, I'm not ready for that at all yet. And then I was like, no, just come over and share what's going on, but I feel like I've done so much of that on my vlog. And so I was like, well, it makes sense to come over here and talk about grief, since that's what's going on with me. I'm so raw and so in the middle of it right now that other than just sharing what's going on, which is what I've been doing in my vlog and my feelings and stuff, I don't know that I really have anything to teach about grief right now, because I feel like I'm right in the middle of it. So for me, I think it would be more helpful to get into the meditations today. So maybe later in the week, I'll talk a little bit more about grief, but today I just wanted to get in here and read some meditations, because I haven't read from these meditation books in over a week. So I wanted to go in here and see what the meditations are for today or the last couple days, and maybe focus on, help me focus on something else to be a distraction a little bit. Okay, so let's go into The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty. I do want to say to all of you out there, and I've said this on most of my channels, but the love and support that Alex and I have received through this whole situation, even before Boo Radley passed away, it's just been unbelievable. And I am so thankful, grateful, and appreciative of it. You guys are beyond kind. And it's something that I never even imagined when I started on YouTube over 8.5 years ago. And through everything that I've been through in my life that I've shared online, it's just, you guys show up, and that's like, it's amazing. And I really appreciate it. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get into this channel was one of them that I was kind of worried about making a video about. Like, I knew once I got into the drama video, like, I'd be able to, like, I started with flipping a fan, and I knew once I got past, like, just talking about what had happened, I'd probably be okay. And I did a Sister Wives video on my Peter Watches TV channel, and I knew that, like, once after I got the initial part, I'd be okay. But this channel, I knew that this would probably, whatever the meditation is, it's going to pull on my heartstrings in some form or fashion. So let's get into November. Today is November 4th. And, oh, interesting. I probably will end up talking a little bit about grief, because the meditation today is anger, and for November 4th. The reason I say that is because one of the things I've shared on my vlog is that, interestingly enough, differently than how I have felt with my aunt and uncle, differently than I felt with Pee-Pee and Tucker when they passed away, I did feel it a little bit with my mom, but it didn't come until later. I'm feeling a lot of anger with Boo's passing, and it's like, it's not any specified anger, it's just, I just feel angry. I find myself tense and angry, and I know that that's a stage of grief. With my mom, I went through, I guess I am going to talk a little bit about grief today, but with my mom, I did, I think it was a while after she passed away, I really misplaced anger. I couldn't be mad at her. I think a lot of people are when somebody leaves. They get, it's irrational anger, right? I just was mad that she was gone. I just was angry. I was pissed at the world. And the only way that I could really make sense of it was to be pissed at God. I was like, God, why would you take this person away from me that was so important? And I kind of went through this very spiritual confliction at that time, and then I had to kind of step back from it and talk to support people in my life that had gone through similar things, and that really helped me. I'm kind of past the anger a little bit right now, but initially I was really angry. I just was like, I don't know. I really struggled with it. So let's hear what it has to say about anger. Maybe this will help me today. Feeling angry, and sometimes the act of blaming, is a natural and necessary part of accepting loss and change, of grieving, it says. We can allow ourselves and others to become angry as we move from denial towards acceptance. As we come to terms with loss and change, we may blame ourselves, our higher power, like I said, or others. The person may be connected to the loss, or he or she may be an innocent bystander. I feel like I have been that person before, and I've also dealt with that from, so many people where they're really not angry at you. They're angry at the situation in their life, but they don't really know how to take that out, so they just are angry at the world. I mean, I understand that. Like I said in my vlog the other day, I've had people in my life that it's like their anger is so misdirected, and everybody around them can see it, and they even can kind of feel it and see it, but they don't know what to do with it, right? And I think that that's the important part, is not taking your anger out on innocent people that are just innocent bystanders. The person may be connected to the loss, or he or she may be an innocent bystander. We may hear ourselves say, if only he would have done that, if I wouldn't have done that. Why did God do it differently for this person than for that person? We know that blame doesn't help. In recovery, the watchwords are self-responsibility and personal accountability, not blame. Ultimately, surrender and self-responsibility are the only concepts that can move us forward. But to get there, we may need to allow ourselves to feel angry and to occasionally indulge in some blaming. It is helpful in dealing with others to remember that they, too, may need to go through their angry stage to achieve acceptance. To not allow others or ourselves to go through anger and blame may slow down the grief process. Trust ourselves and the grief process. We won't stay angry forever, but we may need to get mad for a while as we search over what could have been to finally accept what is. It's pretty powerful. God, help me learn to accept my own and others' anger as a normal part of achieving acceptance and peace. Within that framework, help me strive for personal accountability. It's interesting because I don't want to be angry. And I think I'm pretty good at not taking my anger out on people that are just innocent bystanders. I think, not just in anger associated with grief, but just anger in the world. I think, I've said this for a long time. I heard it from somebody, I think it was Toni Morrison, the writer, that said, we treat people, strangers in the grocery store, better than we sometimes treat, our own family or our partners, being that we can be at the grocery store and the person that's at the checkout can be like, hey, how are you doing today? And you can be just angry and pissed and hurt and sad and in pain and be like, oh, I'm doing good today. And then you go home and you yell at your kids or you'll yell at your spouse because we know they're not going to leave most times, right? And so we take it out on the ones that we love the most. I've done that before in my youth. I think I learned that lesson a while ago. So I think for the last probably 2 decades, I've been pretty good at that. Or at least catching myself early enough and saying, like, it's not about you. Like, I'm just angry at the situation, and I'm just hurt about the situation, but this has nothing to do with you. And I'm sorry that I said those things. I think it's as easy to take accountability and pull out of it, but I think the awareness of if you're hurting somebody or, whatever, because ultimately you're hurting yourself by doing that. I think that's really the thing, is misguided anger. In recovery, we talk about this thing called justifiable anger. And justifiable anger, which I think I've always thought that was an interesting term. Justifiable anger means things that you have absolute justification to be angry about, like maybe neglect or abuse that happened to you, or a spouse hurting you, cheating on you, or like being angry at certain things. But then there's like losing a pet or losing a child or a loved one or a spouse or whatever. Like, that's justifiable anger too, but who are you angry at? You're angry at the situation. I am such a believer. I was just talking to my therapist about this last week because, Boo passed away early Tuesday morning, and then I had my therapy session that I almost canceled. My husband was like, no, I think it'd be good for you to keep it. So I did. And in there I said to him, I am a believer that anger is a secondary emotion and it's covering up for pain. And I don't want to feel the hurt and the pain. Therefore, I go to anger. Anger is an easier emotion to feel than to actually say, I'm in pain. I hurt. I'm at loss. I'm suffering right now. I'm struggling, right? Like, I don't know how to feel. So anger is an emotion that makes us feel empowered. It makes us feel in control. It makes us feel like we have purpose. Anger is an emotion that does that. Whereas pain and sadness just feels weak. So anger is an empowering emotion sometimes, where sadness and grief is a weak emotion. So if I had to ask you, not with sadness, or would you rather be sad and work through the pain, or would you rather be angry and work through the pain? I think most people would say, I'd rather be sad and work through the pain. Honestly, You know, I don't think people want to be angry, but if I said to you, would you rather feel empowered in your weakest moments, or would you rather feel weak in your weakest moments? I think most people would say, I would rather feel empowered. Well, when we feel anger, and anger feels empowering, and it feels like in that moment, you know, whether I'm hurting somebody else or I'm taking it out on somebody else, that may not have anything to do with it whatsoever, because I don't want to look at my own pain in my heart. I don't want to look at what I've gone through. I don't want to look at my own loss. And so it's easier to snap at somebody else or get upset with somebody else. It's easier to do that. You know, we also talk in recovery about taking the easier, softer way. And for years, that was drinking and drugging was the easier, softer way. The harder way is to work through the pain, to work through the issues, you know. I don't want to stay angry, you know. My best friend Tanya says this all the time. Hatred, I don't have the luxury to have anger and hatred in my heart, because that will lead to a miserable life, and it could possibly lead back to a drink or a drug. I can't have that I can't have that kind of anger and animosity in my life today. And sometimes, like, if I don't catch it early enough, misdirected anger can end up becoming a resentment that I really truly believe. I did that in my youth a lot. You know, I don't do that anymore, but I did do that in my youth a lot, where I really thought my anger was so, like, no, you don't understand. Like, this person really did me wrong. Well, that person might have done me wrong, but maybe they don't deserve all that, you know? But I think it's about really being honest with yourself about your emotions. What I know today is that no feeling, no emotion, no pain and trauma, tragic event that I've ever gone through in my life, loss, breakups, whatever that I've gone through, have gotten better for me because I've deflected it onto somebody else or another situation or whatever. It's only gotten better because I've worked through the pain. You know, I talked about this in another video today, that a friend of mine who had lost her son years and years and years ago, I said, people are telling me that I need to move on. She goes, no, we don't move on. We move through the pain, but we continue to carry their memories for us forever. But you have to go through the pain. You have to go through it. And by going through it, what that means is that we have to feel it. We have to allow ourselves to feel the emotions that are not comfortable to us to feel. Well, if anger is the alternative to that, many people choose just to be angry. I'd rather be angry. I can be angry. You know, I can be angry, and then I don't have to actually feel my feelings, because the feelings are too painful. It's like right now, I'm really having a hard time looking at pictures of videos of Boo. I wish I could, but every time I do, it makes me really, really sad. So I just don't, right? That's part of me working through the pain, and eventually I need to do that. I need to remember the little guy, because he meant so much to me. And I don't want to be angry. And I don't want to be in pain either, but the only way to get through the pain is to feel it, and to allow myself to feel it. So thank you guys so much for the support. It was a good meditation today. I love you guys. I guess I did end up talking about grief. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.